1-1 in the ODI series. Who would have thought, after the drubbing that West Indies got in the test matches, then the first ODI, where India, faltered a bit in their batting. Yet, they won easily. But it's 1-1 against a team which hasn't even qualified for the World Cup. I agree, a lot of people will say that this is second string team, effectively, with 3 players, I think, which will be part of your 11. But fair to say it's India's B team. Yet, India losing to this West Indies team, many might argue this is West Indies' B team also, because the main players are mostly playing franchise cricket.
They always failed a B team, in essence.
Yes, and yet they've beaten your B team in a country where they're failing to qualify for the World Cup. So you're now in a situation where you have to play a decider. Just ahead of the World Cup, now I want to know, just looking at India's batting form and the way, and that is what we're going to discuss, the reasons why India is making changes, just in terms of batting form, are we worried with this Indian team going forward, considering you only have to play 10 ODI games? So that's what we'll try and discuss in this edition of the Dugout. We'd love to hear your comments as well. So do chip in, send in those comments. We'd love to read them and maybe, take a lesson or two from there. But before we dive into the discussion, I guess there is, an opportunity for us to pat our own backs, because what we discussed yesterday and the reasons why India was making experiments has now been reinforced by the coach of the Indian team. When we had the mid discussion, I think, and then the post-match discussion, this was before Rahul Dravid came out to address the media. He addressed the media and pretty much said what we had discussed on Sports Today. That's not to say that he saw what was discussed in Sports Today and said it. It's to say that it was pretty evident to us, looking at what the Indian team was doing, what the reasons may have been. And so what we said was not a guess, but pretty much with certainty we thought that might have been the reason. And our assessment was, in the sense, there was a stamp of approval on it by the coach, that is Rahul Dravid. So before we get into what his reasons are and whether right or wrong, let's first listen into what Rahul Dravid actually said when he explained why 2 senior players like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli were rested in the second game and barely played in the first game. First, listen into Rahul Dravid.
We can't give everyone a chance all the time. There are other talented guys as well. We try our best and give as many chances as we can. And today, to give people chances, Virat and Rohit sat out, and sometimes we might have to take those risks. We might have to take those chances in situations like that, because if we're looking at the big tournaments and looking at the big events, then we need to build some of the players and we need to get some answers for specific positions, especially considering some of the situation we're in. No, I think this was, honestly, this was our last chance to be able to try out some of our players. We've got few of our players who are injured, who are in the NCA. With a month to go for the World Cup, for the Asia Cup, we are kind of running out of time in a lot of ways. And we're hopeful that, some of them at least will be fit for the Asia Cup and the World Cup. But, we can't take those chances, and we have to try out other people, and we have to give other people some chances so that we, in a worst case scenario, at least they have game time behind them.
So Rahul Dravid pretty much saying that, Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul, they don't know what their fitness status is, and they have to now keep experimenting to find out who could be the guys that would take their place. This is exactly what we had said yesterday when we saw the changes being made. Now Rahul Dravid says, yes, this is why we're doing it. Now the point is there anything else they could have done, or you're happy with his side of the story? Anybody?
I think I'm okay with it. I'm not a critic of what I'm getting to see at the moment, which is bulk of these changes, radical changes as people are calling them. Forced also in some way, let's not forget, had those guys not been in the NCA, you wouldn't have seen these changes happen. But again, it's happened. Otherwise, let's say even if those guys were around, at some point you would have been saying, okay, try out. You need to know who your backups are and what not. So you're, let's say, in a way getting to try out who your backups are, what they look like on the international stage when them still, very new to the international scenario. So having said that, this is, I will say it is opportune in many ways to be making these changes, to be trying out. The batting order is a discussion for, let's say, is a
but you're okay, right?
I am okay with it.
You're okay with the explanation. Anyone not happy with the explanation?
Not at all happy.
Right?
You could have made the changes. Fine, experiment. But for which particular positions are you going to look for a backup in the World Cup? Number 4 and number 5? What was the need to drop Rohit and Virat? Considering the fact they last played an ODI in March.
But the point about that is what we said. Rohit and Virat, what is it that I'm going to see?
New. Like Dravid said.
Why don't you play more? What is the harm in playing more?
Sunny ji had said it last, prior to the test match. He said you wouldn't have learned anything new. Rahul Dravid had now said the same thing. You wouldn't have learned anything new.
My point is when you're making, as I said, we said this yesterday, when you're going to play the first game, Rohit and Virat are there in the World Cup. How? Now the problem is
at that time,
and Shreyas are not fit, so you need.
I'll tell you what.
You know at that time what will be the dynamic? If Rohit and Virat don't fire in the World Cup, because of reputation alone they have come there, you'll say, oh, they didn't get enough chances. Of course it was.
They will be there, but this is not your dress rehearsal for the World Cup. Your Asia Cup and the Australia series will be.
Interesting that you use the word dress rehearsal.
We were discussing it just a few minutes back.
Yeah.
We had that entire analogy yesterday.
But it's not.
By that logic, even your Asia Cup and Australia is not a dress rehearsal.
Acha, so let me get what Siddharth is saying right.
How is that not a dress rehearsal?
It's not. Your squad will already be out by September 5.
Yeah. That squad you can change now.
On a technicality,
That's not a problem. My thing is, okay, if I understood you correctly, your point is, and it's an interesting point, his point is that while we will not learn anything new about Rohit and Virat, but you're saying not allowing them to play these matches and get into form and get a lot of runs under their belt. So in an attempt to test youngsters, we are robbing them of an opportunity to get runs.
Yes.
Which will be needed in the World Cup.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Because
that's a fair point.
Why would the selectors have picked them then?
No.
If you're thinking, okay, the West Indies series isn't a dress rehearsal, then you would have picked the squad entirely of youngsters.
No, you've tried doing something like that, no?
But can I tell you this?
You're trying things out.
Okay, so his point is, not try. He's saying that, okay, if that was the thought, if you wanted to make the changes, then why not have done it before? Right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say? So, since you're saying that, we have I'll tell you why that didn't happen. Please show us the latest picture that you have right now, which has gone viral. Okay, there's a story behind that picture. Please cut to that picture full frame. And I'll tell you why that they are there. You're saying that if you wanted to experiment, why have him in the squad as well, right?
Yeah.
Just reduce a bit, it's too pixelated, or do you have another picture we can see?
We have another one we can look at.
Yeah, this picture, much better. So this is a picture, the other angle you saw, this you can see a better angle. The man with his back towards the camera is Ajit Agarkar, and the other one is Salil Ankola. So chairman of selector and one other selector. Both Mumbai.
You have two West Zone selectors.
Two West Zone selectors. Both from Mumbai, but that I believe is going to change now when the next one.
Salil Ankola's term runs out too.
But the story is very interesting. This conversation that you're seeing, I believe, based on sources, is the conversation that is happening between the chairman of selector and Virat Kohli about a couple of things. One, about them being explained that this will be a sort of a rotation that will happen in the ODI. And the other very important discussion is happening about their T20 futures. Now remember, before this, a decision was made about their T20 futures by the previous chairman of selectors. The indications were clear. He and his team had decided to move ahead from Virat Kohli, KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma, as you saw in the selection. Then the chairman of selector, there's a sting operation, he's gone. Now in the interim, a team was picked for the ODI series. Remember this ODI team, when it was picked, there was no Ajit Agarkar, right? So that is why. Maybe if there was an Ajit Agarkar, maybe the team could have been different. Now, this is Ajit Agarkar, from good reliable sources we learn. He is actually putting the roadmap out for Virat, Rohit, and KL and is not there. So the one side. And this was an animated discussion. May have been a situation that could have been an awkward conversation also that he's trying to explain to a Virat Kohli. So one, they have been told about their T20 future. I can't say with great degree of certainty of what that is, but I believe may have been told that we'll continue with a young team. That's what I assume would be. We're going to continue with a young team for now. Till such time we reach a stage where we think, no, the young team is not good enough, then there are always senior players you can call. That is T20 conversation, is I think. For one day, there is no question of playing one days without Rohit Sharma and Virat. But I think they have been told that in this series, yes, you are there, but please don't mind if you're not played in a few games, because we need to now understand from the chairman of selectors point of view. If he is in a situation where suddenly he finds himself that there is no Shreyas or KL that he can pick, assuming, he will need to know who are the guys he can pick. Basis what he's going to decide who to pick. I'm telling you, you have to pick your 15 now. Remove a Shreyas Iyer or a KL Rahul from that. You're going to have a lot of problem, because whoever you pick, let's say somebody goes with Sky, somebody goes with Ishan, somebody goes with whatever, there will be debate. Because there will be valid arguments to make, like how are you picking a Sanju or why are you picking a Sky? So maybe they also don't know the clarity, which is why they need to decide. To answer your question, why was this not decided before the series? It's precisely because
But for the wrong position. Rohit and Virat are certain at 1 and 3. Certain. But why do you have to leave them and let the number 4 and number 5?
But how will everyone get a chance? Then you will only, when you do that, when you made that team, Sanju Samson could not play. Akshar Patel could not play.
Even Ishan wouldn't have played then.
No, Ishan played the first ODI.
Ishan played the first ODI.
When you're looking at backups and you're looking at answers, then you'll ask, okay, why Ishan is your backup? One could question
how do you get the
Ishan's position
answers?
What game time does he have? How many runs does he have under his belt? At least you're getting that answer now. Ishan's giving you 2 back-to-back 50s.
But where is he going to open?
He's not. But
Then-
he will anyway make it to the
No, but
squad,
you
not as a
never know.
middle order batter.
But you never know. I'm just saying, you never know. Let's say if your backup wicket keeper turns out to be not KL Rahul, assuming, I'm just saying worst case scenario, and Sanju does not impress you. I'm just saying, if Ishan, right now it does seem like Ishan slightly ahead of Sanju, right? No debate.
Yeah.
And let's say you go with Ishan as the main and Sanju as a backup. And so if you are playing in the 11, how do you make an adjustment? There could be a possibility where, one of them drops down to the middle order. Rohit Sharma drops down to the middle order. You may want a left hand, right hand combination also. You never know. Okay, if Ishan does have a great run. Otherwise, you can always push Ishan also to number 4. Is a possibility. He's batted at number 4 even in the IPL, even in the even shorter format. I'm saying that's not an ideal scenario, but what do you do? If you're number 4, 5, it's not your first choice option. I think Shreyas Iyer was always their first choice option.
Correct.
It's not happening. What do you do? Maybe that's why they're so desperate. Okay, Sky tu hi bana le yaar, number 4. It's not happening.
Rohit demoting himself to number 4, I'm not sure.
I'm saying I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I'm saying if you're in a scenario where there is a KL Rahul not available, you have to play Ishan Kishan as your number 1 wicketkeeper batsman.
Yeah.
What do you do?
No, why would you? You will then be saying that, okay, this is the reason because he got me runs in West Indies, right?
Arey Baba, I'm saying Ishan is your wicketkeeper. Now make your 11.
He bats in the middle order then.
Then okay, I said do that.
Yeah.
Whatever you do,
Because-
I'm saying it's not ideal.
Because
even
then
he's not a middle order batsman.
exactly. When you're running a bigger risk, if Rohit then says, okay, I'm giving up my spot.
That is a minor debate. That's not even a debate.
The batting order you're saying is a minor debate.
Exactly.
From one swamp, you're heading into another swamp. You're going to sink
Siddharth,
anyways.
Have you chosen to do it?
No, it's
Then-
happened to them by
Yes.
providence.
So what? Exactly. Na? So it's not. I'm saying you're in a soup. Will you try and find solutions?
They aren't.
No, but that
No.
attempt is there.
What else could have been the approach of finding a solution? How else would you have
attempt
gone
is
about finding a
there.
solution?
The
I want an
solution
answer to that. What else could have been your route to finding a solution?
The route would have been play Rohit and Virat, have a competition for number 4 and 5 in that particular
I just
position.
answered that question. How do you fit in all of them in the 11?
Why couldn't you have played Ishan in the first game?
Then
no,
also one. Then you will say
Ishan
1-1 game.
Ishan played?
at number 4.
Arey
God
Baba,
forbid,
then you
no.
would have said 1-1 game. You would have said one. See,
My ideal combination-
What is the big fuss about batting position? Why is it? And I give an example. Many will argue, and I think that's a valid argument, that why is Akshar playing at number 4? Okay, my point is, it's not that they're looking at Akshar at number 4. It's not that maybe they're looking at Ishan as an opener. The thing is that allows you the maximum opportunity to bat.
Game time.
I want to see if Ishan is in good form and can he get runs. I'm not so fussed about if Ishan will make runs as an opener or bat at number 3 or 4. It's not that.
I buy into that theory.
That is the reason why Rohit Sharma is batting down. Obviously, Rohit Sharma is not going to bat at number 7 in the World Cup. Now, you and I both know it. He's
Batting out of position has also been India's main Achilles heel.
But
You would have had Ishan or Surya Kumar battle out at 4 and 5 for these 2 games.
Actually, no, in that regard, and this is where it comes down to problems, is that you talk about having bench strength.
What
You don't.
bench strength?
You don't. That's one. Because in an ideal world, and I think this was the plan of the previous regime and the current regime, is that your backups at 4 and 5 would have been Surya at 4, Sanju at 5. That's ideal. Sky, the problem is, has not lit up ODIs anywhere close to what he's been able to do in T20s, not been able to translate. Whereas with Sanju, the mystery forever remains that he's given 1 game here, 1 game there, and then...
No, with Sanju it is simple. A T20 World Cup year, you will make him play ODIs. In an ODI World Cup year, you will make him play T20Is.
No,
that is wrong team, you may say, foresightedness.
Can I tell you one thing? Let's say if Sanju plays the next ODI, or let's say he doesn't. Let's say he plays T20s. I give you in writing, if he has an outstanding T20 series, you will consider him for the ODI as a backup. You will. You cannot stop him not for being. Your argument about different formats, that he's been played different formats. If I am Sanju Samson, I'll be okay, make me play T20. You are telling me if he turns out to be the highest run getter, the second highest or the third highest run getter in the T20 series, averaging whatever 30, 40 in the T20
strike
series,
rate of 180 or something.
whatever, 150, 60 strike rate. Can you not pick him for the ODI series next up for Asia Cup? You will pick him. So there should not be, I'm saying we are too obsessed with abhi wo batting position mein kya hai. Not for now. When you're experimenting in West Indies, it does not matter. If I'm Rahul Dravid or Rohit Sharma or Ajit Agarkar or Salil Amkola, whoever the guys who are going to be judging, I just want to see, boss, is he in good nick? Is he getting good runs? That is why I'm sending them higher up. That is why Rohit Sharma is batting at 7. He's not going to bat there. Because Rohit Sharma is going to play. Virat Kohli is going to play. They will play there. And we know that their quality is such that sooner or later, even if they have 1 or 2 failures, they are my go-to guys. They will win. But I'm not sure about Sky. I'm not sure about Akshar Patel. I'm not sure about Ishan Kishan. I'm not sure about Sanju Samson. That's the only way that I can look at them.
This entire legitimacy, if you have to look at it.
We are going live, so call from ground zero.
Ground zero, okay.
Yes, mate.
So, my only legitimacy would have been play Rohit and Virat. Have a battle for number 4 and 5 with the same 2 players that we talked about, Ishan and Surya. The main debate is who's going to be a number 4 and 5.
Why you played Ishan up top? The other day, I can tell you for the first match. Because, okay, like you said, you could have played him over there because that is the position, like you say, he's actually in contention for. But with that low total in mind, the thing with Team India was, okay, we could actually be chasing down without losing a wicket. Or maybe at the max 1 wicket where you will have Virat Kohli's walk in and then chase it down for you. Ishan doesn't get to bat.
Neither does Sanju then, assuming.
Exactly,
but then,
that is the reason.
See, we are already guilty of mixing up formats. Okay, we are already guilty of mixing up the batting orders. You're making it a proper powder keg of.
Trust me, at this point, it would not surprise me if come the World Cup, they'll see that Ishan Kishan has been getting runs at the top of the order and he will be a designated number 4 because they need one left-hander more aside from Jadeja
That
in the
is
middle order.
another problem if he doesn't get you runs at number 4 because then
Because
you
he's
say you
but
played
he's
him at
never
the
been a
wrong
number 4. He's
space.
at best been a number 3 for Mumbai.
See, but that's for a later time I'm saying. Right
I
now,
am only saying
Ishan Kishan being in
needs
World Cup
match
contention without
time.
any runs, without any matches is like a bigger problem to have than let's say, so you're basically, you're addressing one problem. There is an underlying problem as well that, when we slot him at number 4, we don't know if he'll give us runs. And there could be that scenario as well. But you're saying, I rather have a person who's given me some runs.
Important points because call has come from
because see,
ground zero.
So I will say one more.
Watched Rahul Dravid echoing the sentiment.
Okay, so basically what Ajit Agarkar and the Indian team management are doing is, okay, we are finding out 2 solutions. No problem, we'll create 40 more problems.
How, yeah? Okay, 1 second. You tell me what is the solution. How would you have found solution? Tell me.
Play Rohit and Virat at 1 and 3 in their own position.
Make the 11.
Okay. Now I am not including Aksar.
Make the 11.
Okay.
Ideal 11 for third ODI.
Make the
For the third ODI.
make quickly.
Rohit, Shubman, Virat, Ishan, Surya.
No, I'm
Hardik.
talking about make the 11 for the second ODI. What would
Third
have
ODI.
Your,
That's
no,
what I
no,
mean.
what would have been your 11 for the
Okay,
second
that's
ODI?
what I said. Rohit, Shubman, Virat, Ishan, Surya, Hardik, Jaddu, Kuldeep, Mukesh.
Yeah. Why I am a Sanju Samson fan. I'm going to blast you. Why have you not played Sanju Samson?
He's not played since November.
That's not matter. That's not matter.
So you want to be a parachuter then?
Number 4.
I want to see him. And also,
That is the position
but
he's
that's
then
what I'm
for.
saying. Nothing that you do will have a great answer. I'll tell you, I don't think that's a solution, but we had a few people who were part of our Sports Today family who had come up with suggestion. It wasn't about that. Why don't you look at even an Akshar Patel as a number 4? And I tell you, initially I found that a bit strange, but it's not a bad idea. I'll tell you why. There was a situation not too long ago where you were looking at a Jadeja as number 4. Because you needed a left-hander.
Asia Cup,
You needed a left-hander up there. Did a pretty decent job as well. So I am saying in terms of batting, Akshar has become that. The problem is sometimes we are looking at him as a left-arm spinner and a batter all-rounder, and so he competes with a Jadeja, and so he never makes the team. If I'm an Akshar Patel, I'll say that, listen, my batting form is as good or bad as a Sanju Samson or a Surya Kumar Yadav or whatever. Consider me as a batter. I'm a left-hander batter. Overs you want me to bowl or not is another thing. I could be an option. Some days you use me, some days you don't use me. It could be. But I'm saying there's no harm. There is no harm that even if he wants to throw his hat into the ring. And I think the management realizes he's won you games in T20s, in the IPL, in T20s for India, in ODIs for India as a proper batter. Test matches also. So there is nothing to suggest that he cannot be that guy, right? So now when you find yourself in a situation where you thought all the solutions to your problem was a superstar in Surya Kumar Yadav. It's not happening, not 2 matches. So that's why you're panicking. That's why you're looking at options. You don't know whether
Because I'll tell you
That's
why.
why.
This entire conundrum, Sanju last played in November. Was he in the scheme of things in February and March?
But that is because a KL Rahul you thought would go to, it's not there.
Even he was injured.
And he got injured too.
He also got injured.
I am saying
Ishan and Surya were there in the scheme of things all along.
Ishan and
Surya.
Yeah.
So you identified that, play them in that number 4 and 5. Now already we are saying, they will anyway not bat in that same position. Why don't you try just amongst them as your backup?
But you have to try a few. Not everything is working out. Sky is not working out. What do you do? Let's say he doesn't work out. What are you going to do when he has to sit to make that on September 5th when he has to make the team? What does he do? Either trying to see, and my point is, this series is not going to give you anything. It's not part of a WTC cycle where the wins will make any difference. You are playing the World Cup irrespective. So even if you were to lose, all it will happen is, few abuses on social media. In the long run,
but it's still giving us a lot of answers, I will say.
I'm saying if you were to lose, is what I'm saying is you can experiment. The win or loss here doesn't amount to anything. It's not leading you.
It's not consequential.
So if in this series you're experimenting, I have no problem. Asia Cup, I think, is an important tournament.
Right.
One, because it's an important tournament.
And you're playing that format only then.
See, and also because...
And you will experiment there also.
No, you won't.
Of course you will. No. This Indian cricket team experimented until the one day prior to the India-Pakistan match.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
If it happens there, we will be here live. Ask the relevant questions.
This Indian cricket team management, it has shown in Barbados. It's clueless without any vision. What roadmap is Ajit Agarkar going to talk about? He's only going to create diversions. This was proof. This was proof.
He's just become a chairman of selector.
Okay, but he's had the poison chalice just one.
You're a fan of Ajit Agarkar, the cricketer.
I'm a massive fan.
So then how have you become...
But he's gotten a wrong position at the wrong time.
How have you judged it? Has he selected 10 teams already and left you disappointed? Then I can agree. He's just pick one team. By the way, which team when we discussed, you barely had any complaints at that time.
Because I thought they would play. But they are not playing. Rather than that.
He selected the team for T20s. They've not even started playing.
Actually, he hasn't. He only rubber stamped the first squad.
Okay, fine.
The T20s.
What will he do? What kind of roadmap can he create now?
You and I, we all discussed that. See, why are you leaving Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma in lurch when it comes to their T20 future? Because they were not being picked. We knew from reliable sources that they are keen to play T20. No conversation has happened. They are left in the lurch. They don't know. They're not being picked. But you needed someone to have that conversation. And I'll just give you a bit of a backgrounder. You just said there are 2 selectors from West. There is a reason why Ajit Agarkar has been picked as chairman of selectors. What was the general feeling is that you needed a strong chairman of selectors who can stamp his authority, who can tell players, even if they are senior players like Virat or KL or Rohit or whoever, he can ask them when they're deciding to rest, when they're not deciding to rest, because a lot of time these things were being taken call by senior players without the selection committee having a say. He can question, he can tell them that no, we are not looking at you with this format, we're looking at this. Or if we are looking at you in this format, this is what we expect out of you. This is how your performance should be. And whatever little I know of Ajit Agarkar, I don't claim to know him very well, but I've had the chance of working. I know that he will never mince his words. He's not the guy to beat around the bush. He's pretty straightforward. If a certain thing has to be said, he'll say it the way it's supposed to be. Whether you like it or not is another matter. Whether his decisions are right or wrong is another matter, and nobody is guaranteed to get all decisions right.
The other good thing about him, he'll call a spade, and he's not one of those people pleasers.
Yeah,
He will say what
no
he
one
has to
expected
say.
that from
Which is why
Ajit.
he was picked.
Yes.
Which is why they have increased the payment structure and paying him that much, because he's a broadcaster, he earns a certain amount of money, and you wanted him to take this job, then you have to compensate for the kind of money that he's earning otherwise. You gave him that, so he took up this job of being a selector or chairman of select. But he also has a job. It's not an honorary position.
Yeah.
He's also answerable, right? So now he has to take the tough call. Now if he gets the call right, he'll get the praise. But if he does not, he'll get the criticism. So his neck is on the chopping block. But he's ready for that. So allow him to do his job. Allow him to take the decision. If those decisions don't come good, then obviously we'll sit here and criticize that you bought him. He showed lack of clarity in selection. There was no roadmap, so on and so forth. But right now, whatever is his roadmap, he's putting it out in front of the senior players. That is what you need. That roadmap can lead you to success or towards failure, and that is how you will judge him.
Again, it won't be surprising if Dravid, West Indies ODIs and a World Cup once again create conundrum. What happened in 2006? Lost the ODI series 1-4. Oh, we brushed it at that time. We brushed it off, saying, "Oh no, it's okay. It's just a one-off." But then we saw the cracks appear, and it widened.
No, but I was that. What was happening with that team? It's unfair to compare to what's happening to this team.
Yeah, that's true.
That team was a divided house.
Yeah.
And it was engaged in civil war.
You can't say this. Yeah, you can't say the same about this team. Not once. I mean, there could be issues about which player is doing well or batting well. All that is fine. That team had major issues. There was distrust amongst players. There was not. I have not heard a single player say that. I have heard all players back the remaining players. I can see each player right now celebrating the other's success. It's not a divided house. That team was destined to doom because of what was happening within the team. A culture that, whether it's right or wrong, you can see it whichever way, that was created by Greg Chappell because he was larger than. I have not seen anything like that with this Indian team. So to say that it's
the only difference
Rahul Dravid is there.
The only difference is, I think I'll quote one of our colleagues who stated this line. Indian cricket has gone back to the days of snakes and ladders. If you come on the snake, you go down. If you go on the ladder, you go up.
Who is he?
Just across the room.
No, who is he? He is who?
He had said it.
He
has said it. So I will quote that, and I found that very apt. And it's like the Spider-Man. It's like a Spider-Man Astros. There are multiple Spider-Mans. Oh, you're getting selected. Oh, you're getting dropped. There's total confusion.
Well, I think Shane's yet to weigh in on this whole experimentation.
No, my point is, if there is, if that is the case, that snakes and ladder, you are getting dropped, whatever. What stopped these guys, whoever got the chances? I think the problem has become more complex because of the chance that was given to these players. They didn't make most of it. Ishan Kishan to an extent did,
yes,
but everyone else, Surya Kumar should have done some runs. I know Sanju just got one
unfair,
game. He may get another game, but he also needs to. I'm just saying. See, I agree that we'll say it's unfair here. Let's say he gets 2 games, doesn't do well, then we'll say only 2 games. But such is the nature. When you're outside, all you need is that one chance, na yaar.
Yeah.
See, Sanju and Ashwin,
have to.
same kismat. Ashwin got parachuted after the West Indies series to the T20 setup. Sanju, nowhere should have been near, but he got parachuted in the West Indies series. What you want to
But
do?
this is an opportunity.
But he should have been here. No, he should have been here. I disagree.
Exactly.
And
In
he
what
should have been
way?
playing from the first
He
ODI.
would have wanted this opportunity.
If you had Ishan, you had no place for Sanju. You knew this was coming.
No, but he had a case for himself anyway.
How?
Why not?
How? Sanju Samson.
Did you not just a while back say that, Sanju, the thing with him is, when he's in, when he's not, it's been very inconsistent. Do you want him in, or you don't? That's the
That is
question.
his kismet.
Are you saying that you don't want him in the 11 or in the
Now
11,
there is
let's
too
say?
much confusion. You can't get him in.
You can. If you choose not to.
Because now,
See,
by the way,
KL's availability
for
will
me-
be a bonus.
If KL is available, then none of this matters.
But it
Same
is
with-
mattering now
same
because we
with
don't
Shea.
know whether
It
he'll
is
be there for the
exactly.
Asia
Now
Cup.
you are actually, I think you'll be worrying a little more or starting to worry a little more because Surya is just not getting you runs. Now, if you don't have Shreyas back, Surya is not giving you runs. There's a bigger problem now.
And
Who is
Surya-
your backup to Surya?
I'll tell you one thing.
Who's your backup to Surya? You don't
Surya
know.
Kumar Yadav, if he's picked in the Asia Cup, he'll score a massive century against Nepal. Problem sorted.
No.
Number 4,
necessarily.
of course. That is how the Indian management will operate. They just don't have the foresight. Otherwise, why would you want to pick Sanju when you've already kept Ishan in the team's dynamic and setup for months? Why? That is the question.
Because no simple reason. Because if suppose, for instance, God forbid, KL Rahul is either declared unfit for the World Cup or gets back fitness and a la Bumrah ends up recurrence. Then Ishan is your first choice. Who's your second choice?
I don't know.
That's why you needed a Sanju. You needed a second choice.
An undercooked Sanju, that too. Very undercooked.
That is another thing.
That's
like
another
you have an
matter.
undercooked Surya Kumar Yadav right now. But he
No,
was
Surya Kumar is not undercooked.
Guy is not undercooked. He's been playing ODIs throughout the year.
Yeah.
He's not undercooked. He's underperformed.
Exactly.
Underperformed.
What I
Undercooked,
meant,
no.
yes,
Underperformed.
Yes.
And at least him, we can meritoriously say that, look, he probably shouldn't be in and around because you gave him a chance. If I'm not wrong, he played the New Zealand and Sri Lanka series
He
at
got
number 4
100
as
in
well.
New Zealand, though in another
T20,
format.
No,
Yeah.
T20.
ODIs he
Though in
started
another
from
format,
Australia.
Yeah.
Australia because Shreyas was injured at that point. Yeah.
Okay, what are your guesses? What does the Indian team do for the third ODI? What will happen?
The same 11 that they played in Barbados, they're going to stick with it in Taruba. I don't
But
see
they
Rohit
played
and
separate 11s now in Barbados.
second ODI 11.
Specific. Same 11. Who died?
Same 11 in the second ODI.
So you're seeing Rohit and Virat both not play.
Not playing. They'll play only the Asia Cup
That's fine.
because that's what it matters.
I think one of them will be brought back. I don't know why. I have this weird feeling. One of them will probably come back.
In that case.
Oh, who knows? They might not.
I in fact have a feeling that Virat might play. and
Exactly.
Rohit might not.
Exactly. You know why? Because Kishan has been in good form. You want to give Gill a little bit more time because his form has dropped. So you'll play Ishan. He's got back-to-back 50s. He's been the one batsman who's impressed through the ODI series. He'll play. Gill will play. I think Rohit sits out and they might just bring back Virat because they're going to be a little spooked. You don't want to lose the series.
Yeah.
Virat might come back. I feel, and Rohit sits out.
Maybe.
That's what even I think.
I think same as the second ODI.
Interesting.
Same
Let
as the
us-
second ODI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let-
See what we've heard from the team. One thing which they made very clear. It doesn't matter what we say because Rahul Dravid, like
He said
many
it,
other
yeah.
people have said, we're not listening to.
Yeah.
Outside noise.
And the experiments will continue.
So they have their reasoning why they're making the experiments, and they've said, Rohit also said, experiments will continue at least till the third ODI. After that, in T20 also you can see experiment. Do you have a problem if you
T20 is only going to be experimentation. You're playing
Yeah.
essentially a second
Because you
string
don't
team.
have Jadeja, you don't have Rohit, you don't have Virat.
You don't have Shami,
Rohit,
you don't have
Shami, you
Bumrah.
don't have Siraj.
No, Shami Bumrah are not here. Also.
But you don't have a Siraj. You don't.
Siraj is on.
Siraj not here in ODI also.
No, he was
Yeah.
not named in T20s beforehand because you had to manage his workload.
Yeah. So let us just get the glasses on and then let's rotate. Who's going to be out and who's going to be in?
What option do you have?
No, T20s I understand. T20s
No, I'm saying a
fine
third
with.
ODI.
Yeah.
T20 is
But I'm
Inconsequential.
telling you,
Inconsequential.
inconsequential you're seeing again. I'm telling you, don't see it like that. For Ishan is there, Sanju
Sanju's
Samson
there.
is there,
Rutu's
all of
there.
them, all of Ruturaj not so much because
Yeah,
you're not
but-
contention over there, but all these guys who are there, they will
It's an
all be
important
Surya Kumar
series.
Yadav.
If he gets runs, he might just keep his
they will
rope alive.
have to get runs to be in contention, and a lot of them will be considered, even if you get runs in T20. I'm telling you that.
No,
So
plus also
don't think that it's inconsequential.
No, but
it's an important
See it just
series.
as black and white.
It's an important series for the build-up to your 2024 T20 World Cup, which will be held.
Also for ODI
no,
World Cup.
ODI.
Also for ODI World Cup.
I don't
You are
think
seeing
24 they're
that.
thinking about
It's
right
not so
now.
black and white, yaar. It's all grey. It's not about T20 is T20.
Just like the
Won't
Indian
happen.
cricket team's
Won't
thinking.
happen.
24th to still don't worry. 24 you will worry about after the IPL.
Exactly. Give it some time.
Ah.
Give it one
Anyway,
IPL.
luckily, thanks to the elections, we might have the IPL in the middle of May. It might end.
End in the middle.
End in the middle of May.
Not
Yeah.
saying much.
And 4th of June is when the World Cup
Yeah.
starts.
But you have to go there a week earlier for the warm-up games
Again,
and all
1 week
that.
only.
Maybe, yeah.
But that's okay. You'll be in T20 mode. No, it's better than being T20 mode than saying no, we'll play WTC.
But then again, you'll have an excuse, no? Conditions,
Yeah.
acclimatize.
That is
You always have
that is
excuses.
fixed.
Bad
That is
half an hour.
fixed. You'll give
Such
the
negative folks around.
practical.
We're just going by the script.
Practical.
They're not negative. Practical.
Practical.
That's the
Pragmatic would be a better
Yeah,
word.
pragmatic. Yeah.
Zamini hakikat.
word. Zameen se jude log.
Yes. We are not an Indian team Asmani. We are not like them. Head in the clouds, thinking what to
Why do
do.
you have so much hate for the Indian? How now? Where is the Asmani? They are Asmani.
it is concern.
What was the need?
It is
for this
concern.
part?
You, look at what they did in
You
that
say that
second
about
ODI.
you say that about Sri Lankan team or New Zealand team.
Of course. Of course.
Like Asmani hai. They
Yeah. I mean, my biggest nightmare in
Sri
this.
Lanka, he calls them us. We have to do this.
My
Us.
biggest nightmare in this World Cup is who do I support in New Zealand Sri Lanka match? One is a practical favorite, the other is a sentimental favorite.
What about India?
No,
Arre?
Neither.
India, New Zealand, you will support New Zealand.
Total.
Obviously.
India, Sri Lanka, you will support
Sri Lanka. Don't ask me about India, Pakistan, please.
Why?
is
I'll ask. India.
India.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
Thank
The
God.
only one fixture you'll be supporting India in.
No, India, England. India, England. I can't support England.
No, also India, Pakistan is supporting India.
Huh?
Sri Lanka versus CSK. But what
Sri
kind of
Lanka.
a
I know.
Anything.
Just for for that, I will say I'll support Sri Lanka.
Anything else, or shall we take leave?
Yeah, let's hope that the as they say in Hindi, Sadbuddhi hai Indian cricket team
We
ko.
will be live tomorrow, day after.
Day after.
For the game. Tomorrow, though, we'll have a dugout again.
We will, yeah.
We'll make the 11.
Virat stays or he comes back.
Tuesday is the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brian Lara Stadium.
Meanwhile, anything to look forward to? I watched the El Clasico last night.
The Texas El Clasico.
Yes, I went from here and watched it. Second half, of course, the first half we missed. Second half was great fun. 3-0, sweet victory.
Oh yeah,
FC Barcelona versus Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. Is this the last of the friendlies?
No, there's still a few which will go.
Couple
August,
So,
right?
is
it
there a
starts.
final for that? Or they just...
No, I think this is just like a series of.
There's no
things.
cup.
No, this is not like the ICC, the International Champions
Yeah.
Cup. It's not like that.
Not like that.
I don't think
because,
so.
Because, you like Barca lost to United, won Madrid. So I thought maybe they'll just...
No, they might just be. I'll check that because nowadays it's happening in America. No? So what they try and do is they'll create these little competitions to give American fans these matches without the context of a La Liga or a
Yeah, that's
sort
what
of
I'm
thing.
saying.
So it's
That's
quite
why
possible
I
that'd be
think there
something.
should be something.
I'll check. It's quite
a
possible.
final or something.
When does the leagues begin? All mid
Leagues,
August.
12th is when the
12th.
Premier League begins, and pretty much every other will begin a week later.
There's also Formula 1 which is about to end just now. The race.
The race will be on right now.
Start.
Yeah, it's on right now.
Yeah, we would have. Yeah, almost. Yeah.
It's good. It's going to be 7 o'clock.
Yeah, so it's starting.
44
Started.
laps, right?
44 laps starts at 6:30. Yeah, so it's already underway.
It's already underway.
Yeah.
Half of the race
Yeah.
probably
but
could have been.
as soon
over.
as the race is done, we will
Yeah,
have a
we'll-
live on that. There's also a special we've done on the 1992 World Cup story.
Ah.
If you missed that out, check that out. That video was up today. Anything else that we
Ashes.
Ashes, there will
yes.
be an update if there is. It seems like it's an interesting game. Of course, there's 1 day remaining. That update at the end of the day's play probably, or
Yeah.
if there is something interesting, we'll do.
Yep.
But for the moment,
It's
bye bye. See you.
See you.
Vanakkam.
Vanakkam.
Take care. Don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today.